Roar! 4! Think, feel, and believe. Roar! 4! Think, feel, and believe. 4! Yo! Yeah! Church on Sunday. No, wait. That's another one we do. Oh, yeah. Well, but there's one think, feel, and believe. There's one think, feel, and believe. 4! Whoa! 4! Yeah. Okay, so back to what we was talking about. All this time I was experiencing it blindly. Experiencing all this blindly, not knowing what I was doing. And, I have to think back, and I wish, I got some more examples, what I'm going to talk to you about, of things that I was doing blindly, having no idea. And, before I come up here to talk about what I'm going to talk about now, you want to talk about now? You want to talk about now? Okay, I'm going to talk about it now, about how much stuff that I was probably actually manifesting and didn't even know it. My thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that were in action, and the things that were happening to me that I didn't even know. So that's kind of how it is blindly. And I think that's where a lot of people are really at. I mean, what you're doing is you're manifesting things into your life purely by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about all the things that are going on in your life, whether they're good or bad. Because I got some examples. I got some examples of both. Okay, I got some examples of both. So the next big one, well, so I paid that business off in 2 years. Great accomplishment for young man, about 26 years old, to be able to pay off overhead, because rent was probably $1,500 a month, and then I was paying like $300 a month for a Yellow Page ad, electricity, all the other gobbledygook, and paid it off in 2 years, and guess what? I happened to be married at the time. Guess what? It was a marital asset. And guess what? The sixth year was like, yeah. Divorce! Oh, yuck. I'm not even going to get into that story, but it's a great one. Well, great. I don't know. We won't get into it. But anyway, so it was a marital asset, so she was entitled to half of it. I busted my butt there for the 2 years, paid off in 2 years, and then I owed her half, which I paid $30,000 for it. I paid it off in 2 years, and it ended up being, $15,000 marital asset, the business that I was going to have to pay off, and then it ended up being a couple thousand more, right? So I was going to owe $17,000. If I hadn't just paid off $30,000, now I was going to have to pay her half and give her half of the marital asset. Oh, brother, of that, So immediately in the thought, I'm like, I had this thought deep inside me, like, oh gosh, if I could just make all that money, I'll make all the money that I can, and then I'll give it to my mom and dad and put it in their bank account, and then have them write a check to her, thinking that my mom and dad were helping me out or something, which they kind of did in a way, but I didn't want her to think that Anyway, so I had this innate desire in me again, right? Be able to work my butt off and be able to pay her off in a year. And so it was like the sixth year I was in marriage, decided to get divorced. I had the business 2 years. The third year, was 6 years, and get divorced. Took another year basically for it all to hash on through, and I knew what I was in for. So I had that year, and it was finalized in the seventh year. But so I had that innate desire in me to be able to save all that money, be able to make it so I could pay her off. And it really was only a hope. I didn't know whether it was possible or not. And I think the thing about it is that the power in manifestation is really happening more powerfully when you're doing it blindly, when you don't really know what's going on. You're doing it blindly. You have no idea what's going on, but you're doing it because you're thinking, you're feeling, and then those feelings are connected to a belief again, having gone through 2 years of owning that business, because the first year when you buy a business, I mean, the first 6 months, I'm like, am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Oh. And then the first 6 months go by and you're like, oh, okay, but we got to go another 6 months to a year. Oh, are we going to make it? Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Oh, look, we made it a year. When you own a business, you will go through so much personal growth. Oh my gosh. So, the first year, so am I going to make it? I'm like, so the possibility. And then the second year, I wonder if I'll make it the second year. Oh no. And then long story short, made it the second year. Okay. So, and then not only that I paid it off in 2 years. So I had some personal growth from that. So I had some belief that things were possible, just the sheer aspect of going through that experiencing, and then it happened. It gave me the aspect that it was that it was possible, and then so I didn't really know what was going to be possible, with being able to give up half of the. Anyway, so I did, and then what, and then all of a sudden it was like. I mean, I was watching it on a conscious level, but then it was like, it was interesting because all of a sudden I started getting these calls for big jobs. Big jobs in a packaging and shipping store, are like $800, $1,200, $400, $600. I kept on getting these big jobs, and it was like, these packaging jobs where you're packing up stuff and you're shipping it and you're making money off of the packaging supplies, off the service that you're doing as far as the packaging is concerned, making a little bit off the, taking the freight price that you get, marking it up a little bit, making some money on that. So I was getting these big jobs. There was even these jobs where I was like getting $3,000, and I was like, and it was like my phone started ringing. I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Has it just been the past couple years that I've been, running this business or something? And, how is this happening? Now I'm like, how is it? But I just kept going and going, and I kept doing these jobs and making money, I like making money. And I just kept on making money, and I'm making money, and I come around, and the divorce proceedings are final, and it was like, you owe $17,000, and you know what? There again, I took $17,000 out of my bank account at that particular age of 27. I mean, which back then, that was a lot of money. I mean, to be able to do that, and took that, put it in my mom and dad's bank account. They wrote her a check for $17,000. Done. So, I guess I'd have to say that, and again, back to the fact that I was probably manifesting a lot of things and didn't even know it. It was just that innate desire that's in you, the thoughts connected to the feelings, so I had the thoughts of wanting to make the money so I could pay her off, oh my gosh, if I can make the money to pay her off. So that earnest desire, that really, I want to do it, and that earnest desire to be able to have that. And I think, and I don't know specifically, and I got some more stories to tell. I promise. They're coming. And they're just not coming right now. They're going to come in.